Once again, as of today, we have 0 ships at berth right now at the Port of Seattle.
Port authorities are bracing for a major impact. According to Port of Seattle Commissioner Ryan Culkins, there could be a 40% drop in vessels and container traffic the next few weeks.
America's ports have hit a breaking point. Over 10,000 containers are frozen in place. Ships are stuck offshore, and the shelves you rely on are about to run dry. Seattle's port is dead silent. Long Beach is just about to suffer a 40% cargo collapse. This isn't a delay, it's a meltdown. And the chaos unfolding at our docks is about to crash straight into everyday American life. America's busiest ports are grinding to a halt. In Seattle, not a single container ship docked from several days, something experts say hasn't happened in years. Over at Long Beach, container traffic can crash by 40%. The Port of Los Angeles saw a similar drop, with throughput falling more than 25% this month alone. But this collapse isn't caused by weak demand. The real problem is policy. After months of rising tariffs and uncertainty, importers hit the brakes. Businesses chose to pause shipments instead of risking massive financial losses. Ports responded by cutting operations, slowing cranes, and reducing labor shifts. Empty terminals, idle equipment, and stranded ships became the new normal. The system isn't broken, it's been frozen. This isn't just a shipping delay, it's a full-scale freeze at the heart of America's supply chain, and the longer it lasts, the bigger the impact on everything from store shelves to national trade. This crisis didn't begin at sea, it started with a policy decision. In early April 2025, the U.S. government imposed a sudden and massive 145% tariff on Chinese imports. The goal was pressure. The result was paralysis. Importers across the country faced an impossible choice: pay sky-high duties and risk going bankrupt, or halt shipments and wait. Most chose to stop. Overnight, cargo orders were canceled, containers were left at origin ports, and major retailers hit pause on inventory. According to Maersk North America, cargo volumes between China and the U.S. dropped by 30 to 40% in just weeks. That's not a dip, it's a free fall. And with fewer goods moving, shipping companies pulled back too. Nearly 25% of vessel capacity on these trade lanes was slashed or redirected to other regions. Ports that were once packed with traffic suddenly emptied out. What looked like a slowdown was actually a standstill, and the cause wasn't a lack of demand, it was fear. A fear that any shipment could instantly become a financial disaster. And until that fear is removed, the trade engine that drives America stays stuck in reverse. While the headlines focus on empty ports, behind the scenes, businesses are scrambling to survive. Some importers are rerouting goods through Canada, quietly parking containers in cities like Vancouver and Halifax to avoid the U.S. tariffs. Others are cutting their product lines, choosing to ship only high-margin items where profits can absorb the extra cost. Warehouses near border towns are filling up fast as companies play a waiting game, hoping the trade tension eases before their inventory runs dry. According to a May 2025 report from Bloomberg Logistics, Canadian ports have seen a sharp spike in redirected U.S.-bound shipments. At the same time, smaller importers, those without flexible supply chains or deep pockets, have been forced to freeze operations completely. According to industry reports, many retailers are holding back shipments due to the uncertainty around tariff policy, fearing sudden changes could make imports financially unviable. These are not long-term strategies, they're desperate, stopgap moves in a game where the rules keep changing. Every reroute, every cutback is a gamble, and when business decisions become gambles, it's no longer strategy, it's survival. On May 14, 2025, a surprise shift caught the business world off guard. The U.S. and China agreed to lower tariffs on Chinese imports from a crushing 145% down to 30%, but only for 90 days. It sounded like a relief. In reality, it sparked a frantic race. Retailers, wholesalers, and manufacturers began front-loading inventory like never before, ordering everything from school supplies to smartphones and holiday merchandise. This wasn't normal demand, it was pent-up panic unleashed. For weeks, businesses had paused imports to avoid high duties. Now, with a narrow window open, they're rushing to move stock before the tariffs potentially return. But global shipping doesn't run on speed, it runs on schedules. It takes 3 to 4 weeks for goods to reach the U.S. West Coast and up to 6 for East Coast ports. That means the surge of containers won't even begin to hit until late June, and it will likely peak in July. Ports that had just scaled back operations are now expected to absorb a tidal wave of cargo in record time. And the deeper issue? No one knows what happens when the 90 days end. This isn't a return to normal. It's a high-speed dash into the unknown. Ports across the U.S. are now staring down a storm they aren't ready for. After weeks of scaling back, cutting shifts, and sending workers home, they're being asked to spring into full-speed operations almost overnight. But the machines are cold, schedules are thin, and staffing is still below capacity. The Port of Long Beach, for example, reduced crane rotations and dock schedules during the import freeze, decisions that can't be reversed instantly. Now, with cargo surging toward the coastline, port managers are scrambling to bring back labor, reactivate equipment, and expand yard space. Shipping companies are also racing to restore the 25% vessel capacity they had slashed during the slowdown, but vessels, crews, and berths can't just be reassigned like apps on a phone. It takes weeks of coordination across multiple countries. And while importers are moving at warp speed, ports are still stuck in second gear. Terminal operators are warning of backups, delays, and missed delivery windows. In short, the infrastructure isn't broken, it's just overwhelmed. The supply chain is about to go from empty to overcrowded in a matter of days. And when a fragile system gets flooded, it doesn't bend, it breaks. The flood of cargo doesn't stop at the ports, it spreads through the entire supply chain, and every link is feeling the pressure. Rail yards that once had breathing room are now bracing for container pileups. Customs offices already understaffed are facing longer queues and delayed clearances. Trucking companies are also under strain. With thousands of containers arriving at once, available drivers are vanishing fast, and many are stuck waiting for hours, unpaid, just to pick up a load. According to the Freightio's index, transit times are climbing sharply and spot rates are spiking. In response, some shipping lines are deploying larger ships to move more freight per voyage, but that creates new problems. Larger vessels require deeper berths, more cranes, and much longer unloading times. Other carriers are pushing for faster sailing schedules, but that's causing port bottlenecks in other regions and squeezing crews. What was once a smooth, just-in-time system is now a clogged artery. And every delay at one point creates ripple effects across the map, from warehouses to storefronts and all the way to your front door. Behind every stuck container is a person feeling the pain. At the ports, longshore workers are being called back, but not fast enough to guarantee steady shifts. Many have gone weeks with reduced hours or temporary layoffs. Truckers, often paid by the load, are waiting unpaid in endless lines, burning fuel and time. Small importers, especially family-owned businesses, are paralyzed. They can't afford to take big risks, can't absorb tariff shocks, and certainly can't reroute supply chains on short notice. One shipping consultant told Reuters, "Big corporations can hedge, small players can't." For many of these businesses, every delayed shipment is a blow to cash flow, every policy shift a direct hit to survival. And for households, it means higher prices, product shortages, and growing frustration. This is no longer just a trade war or logistics issue, it's a slow-moving crisis that affects real people on the docks, behind the wheel, and inside every store you walk into. What makes this crisis even more dangerous is the ticking clock. The current 30% tariff reprieve is temporary, lasting only 90 days, and no one knows what happens when time runs out. If tariffs snap back to 145% in August, thousands of containers already en route could become financial disasters overnight. Retailers and wholesalers are now playing a dangerous game of timing. They are betting that they can import goods, clear customs, and get them onto shelves before the window closes. But this is not a market strategy. It is a race against unpredictable policy. And if they lose, the cost isn't just higher duties. It is unsellable inventory, warehouse overflows, and steep financial losses. According to supply chain analysts, a surge in July followed by a tariff spike in August would create a logistical traffic jam with no off-ramp. Mid-shipment goods could arrive just in time to get taxed at the highest rate. That is not a risk, it is a built-in failure point. What is worse, customs clearance delays and port bottlenecks make it even harder for businesses to land their bets on time. Ships take weeks to arrive. Ports need advanced coordination. There is no fast-forward button, and there is zero indication that a new long-term deal is even being discussed. That means businesses are forced to make critical decisions without a stable roadmap. If the tariffs return and import costs spike, the system could buckle again just as it starts to move. Unlike digital markets, physical trade systems do not recover in days. They take weeks, even months to stabilize. This is the real danger. When trade policy changes faster than ships can sail, the global economy does not bend, it breaks. The crisis at America's ports is no longer a warning, it's a reality. Subscribe now to stay ahead of the chaos, get real-time updates, and understand how these disruptions could hit your wallet next. Don't wait, stay informed.